were the time we rode down the Grand, the essence of life right in our hand. With oar and lock and raft and line, we thumbed our nose at old Father Time.
George and Pam Wint, the owners and operators of O.A.R.S. Incorporated, invite you to travel with them along 226 miles of the Colorado River through the Grand Canyon. Preparing to leave Lee's Ferry, Arizona, the boatmen sort, organize, and pack the cooking gear, tools, equipment, and food necessary for a 13-day adventure.
Watch that order, you guys.
1, 2, 3.
No, your end is going to the water. Left.
The boatmen launch 6 18-foot neoprene rafts. Aboard will be the young and old, men and women, people from all walks of life. 2 waterproof packs and a waterproof camera case are provided each passenger. Passengers need bring nothing more than a sleeping bag, 2 changes of dry clothes, suntan lotion, and a camera with plenty of film. There's no need to overdress. The occasion calls for casual attire. The Park Service is at hand at the start of every trip to count passengers, check safety equipment, assure compliance with park rules and regulations, and to protect the canyon and park from misuse. One of the regulations is that all passengers and boatmen must wear Coast Guard approved life jackets at all times when in the rafts. When all boats are finally underway, the adventure begins. The only clock is the river flowing and the sun passing through the Arizona sky. The water is 50 degrees and clear, for Lee's Ferry is just 17 miles below Glen Canyon Dam and Lake Powell. The morning of packing and lashing gear into the rafts is utterly forgotten as we drift with the current. Lee's Ferry was the only wagon and automobile crossing of the Colorado River for 443 miles, from the 1880s until 1929 when Navajo Bridge was built. Our first rapid. What a contrast to the quiet water and gentle experience of just minutes before. It must be nature's finest roller coaster ride. Almost impossible to describe, it must be experienced. Rapids are rated on a relative scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being the most difficult. This rapid is rated only 2 or 3. The excitement builds as the raft creeps towards the white water. The increasing intensity of the roar, and then the climactic plunge as the raft is finally drawn into the swift current.
We left Lee's Ferry when the sun was high, 6 rafts afloat to carry us nigh. To Badger Rapid it was no big thing, all it did was make us sing.
Major John Wesley Powell, the leader of the first group of men to traverse the Grand Canyon in 1869, named this section Marble Canyon. We observed that the walls in this section of the gorge were polished as if by an artisan. Rapids, one of the reasons we are here, to imagine ourselves on the first trip with Major Powell. This rapid is rated 6. After the big rapid, the rafts must be bailed. We prepare to land at Shinamoo Wash and spend several hours in Silver Grotto. Silver Grotto, a deep cleft in the wall of the inner gorge, is reminiscent of the side canyons in Glen Canyon. Runoff water is trapped in pools gouged out of the sandstone bottom. Sand, pebble, and boulder carried by water are the cutting tools. Time is the sculptor. We swim through the pools. We saunter through water-streaked chambers until an overhang halts our progress. Here nature, it seems, has transcended its own laws. Each of us walks away with a different sense of experience. This canyon certainly could not support our lives, but it does support our spirits for the few moments modern life has lent us this day.
We rode 3 days, Silver Grotto is nice, Red Wall Cavern and Vasey's Paradise, fountains bursting from the rock high overhead, down through the fern and flower it led.
Red Wall Cavern, a tremendous undercut in the south wall of the gorge, and described by Powell as capable of giving sitting room to 50,000 people. It appeared deceptively small as we approached, but as the first raft landed, we were shocked by its actual size. 100 yards wide, 200 feet deep, 100 feet high with a sand bottom. By 1949, 80 years after Powell, only 100 persons had traversed the Grand Canyon. Others had wandered in and out by various trails, and some had left a record of their passing and some had not. A mystery skeleton was found on a ledge 100 feet above the river at South Canyon. We ascended the sandstone ledges, not knowing quite what to expect. After all, we traveled in comfort. This river-running business had been all figured out. But there it was, alone. An Indian or a white man, no one seemed to know. Each summer, 10,000 people passed this site. The skeleton is alone no longer. The Anasazi, the ancient ones, once lived at Nankoweap Creek. High under these overhangs, the early men built their dwellings. These structures are thought to have been their granaries. They grew their crops of corn, squash, and beans along the creek below. It is estimated that the early men left the canyon forever in a drought that started in 1276 A.D. What was their view is now our view. The air is warm, the sound of Nankoweap Rapid is but a whisper in the wind 1,000 feet below. The Little Colorado River drains much of northern Arizona. The turquoise blue water emanates from a spring several miles up the creek. This is our chance to enjoy ourselves in the comfortable blue water. But the canyon is moody. A gentle rain begins to fall. We get the feeling that our status has changed from that of honored guests to the position of unwanted intruders. We knew what Powell meant when he wrote, "Clouds are playing in the canyon today. Sometimes they roll down in great masses, filling the gorge with gloom. Sometimes they hang aloft from wall to wall and cover the canyon with a roof of impending storm." Now we get our chance to see the sculptor at work. Each little grain of sand is a minute chisel. In geometric progression, each little chisel loosens more chisels, working away at the canyon walls. Loose material is collected until the runoff is more solid than liquid. We watch the river change from its translucent green color to an opaque brick red. Colorado, a Spanish word for red. The origin of the river's name is apparent. As we float down the river, side canyons begin to run. Overhangs turn into waterfalls, or in this case, dirt falls, as the water collected on the terraces seeks the river. The cloudburst has passed, but the river will bear its effect for the rest of the trip. We stop to dry out and to have lunch. A game of hare and hounds lasts for nearly 45 minutes.
The fourth day we stopped to camp at Nankoweap. The sixth day we came to Bright Angel Creek, knowing the next day the river would go through many good rapids right in a row.
Phantom Ranch in Bright Angel Creek. A chance to buy a hot dog, make a phone call, send or receive a letter. This is particularly important to the boatmen who are shuttled from the end of the trip at Diamond Creek to Lee's Ferry in one day for perhaps 7 trips in succession. Now is the day of the rapids. The 8-day trips start at Phantom Ranch, and what an introduction to the river. This is Hermit Rapid, rated 8. The boatmen inspect Crystal Rapid, which was of minor importance until a flash flood in 1966 tumbled boulders from Crystal Creek into the Colorado. Overnight, Crystal became a major rapid. Crystal is rated 9 because of a 15-foot hole near the left wall. Watch as the boatmen pull to the right, attempting to avoid the big hole.
Horn Creek, Granite, and Hermit, and the rest. We came to Crystal Rapid, we knew it was the best. And the next day the Jewels, and before the day was done, we came to El's Chasm, where the clear waters run. The water runs down through the ferns of green, and dances to the music of a pipe unseen, and sings as it meets the river to the sea. It's kind of the elves to share it with me.
Upon leaving Elves Chasm, we sign the register. Our signatures and our footprints are about all we allow ourselves to leave behind. Sandbars make the most comfortable campsites. The fluctuating river and the canyon winds sweep the beaches clear and give us the sense of being the first to set foot on the sandbars. Campsites are established as the gear is brought ashore and spread out. A central meeting area is automatically established around the cooking facilities. 2 stoves are always going at one time, and the food is plentiful. The menu could consist of steaks, roast beef, chops or hamburger, green salad, and all the trimmings. And for atmosphere, you couldn't find a more perfectly decorated restaurant. Certain rules of the road are established early in the trip. When the oar is up, the area is vacant. When the oar is down, it is occupied. Very simple. Since the sandbars are large and wooded, the portable toilet can be placed in a secluded location, usually with a fine view of the river. You're assured of complete privacy. If there are any tensions left, can crushing is the recommended therapy, but be careful with your fingers. Actually, we pack out every tin can and non-combustible item we bring into the canyon, and also pick up after others. The canyon is amazingly litter-free considering the number of people who pass through it each year. A typical breakfast can consist of eggs for many days into the trip. Bacon or sausage, cereal or pancakes then constitute the main course. After breakfast, the morning exercise could involve refloating beached rafts. The river level is dropped. The level can fluctuate 10 vertical feet in a 12-hour period, depending upon the volume of water needed to meet the demand for electric power at Glen Canyon Dam. All hands assist the boatmen in launching the rafts. The morning routine includes breakfast, packing the cooking equipment, packing personal belongings, and lashing the gear once again into the rafts. A rapid is always imminent. This morning is no exception. This is Dubendorf Rapid. The boatmen stop at the head of all major rapids and walk along the bank for an inspection. The river might have changed. The river level could be higher or lower than the last trip. Each boatman charts his own course through the rapid. Our rafts are lined up at the head of the rapid, waiting in turn to run their chosen course. Each boatman has rowed many times through the Grand Canyon as an apprentice boatman. This is a Park Service regulation. The experienced boatmen row stern first through the rapids, intent on maneuvering the stern of the raft in the direction of the oncoming waves and holes. The boatmen control the rafts by rowing against the current, slowing the raft, pulling on the appropriate side to keep the raft properly aligned.
Tapeats Creek to Thunder River we walked, through the cactus gardens we sang and we talked, of water falling down from a cavern in the wall, through the fern and the cress we watched the waterfall.
The Thunder River is an underground stream that finally emerges from the canyon wall at the bottom of a limestone layer. The creek is cool and clear and harbors rainbow trout. Deer Creek is just 2 miles below Tapeats Creek. More refreshing water and spectacular falls.
Deer Creek Falls, it was a wondrous place to be. Just past Granite Narrows, it falls into a sea of mist and foam, driven by the wind from its 100-foot leap into a fern-covered glen.
Bighorn sheep can usually be seen in this area. Hoof prints in the sand indicate the bighorn are near. But man's mind cannot always dwell on the ethereal. A sneak attack or a bold broadside. The tactics of Jean Lafitte or Captain Hook.
Hey! Try and get him!
The 11th day we came to Havasu Creek, where the muddy Colorado and the turquoise waters meet. Between Vermilion cliffs were the travertine dikes and the green grapevines where where we took a little hike.
This is Havasu Falls on the Havasupai Indian Reservation. Havasupai means people of the blue-green water. Their reservation is one of the most isolated. Havasu Creek plunges into a turquoise pool at Mooney Falls. The unusual formation of the creek bottom is due to a limestone formed as a deposit called travertine. These travertine dikes occur at random and take on the turquoise color of the water. We could have stayed here for 2 weeks. The scenery around us has been in the making for perhaps 25 million years. We feel as one with our surroundings. We have not dwelt on the rancor of city life for days. We see ourselves as part of the wilderness. We wonder why this cannot be part of our day-to-day reality. Perhaps we are just dreaming as we drift along.
Tapestry draped from the walls of red. This river will one day take me home to find my love, and together we'll roam through this dream. I must be dreaming, drifting, slowly reflections of my childhood focus on the glimmering sand. Skipping along the river deep, the child and I play hide and seek through this dream. I must be dreaming, drifting, slowly it did appear to disturb my reverie. I said to myself, do you have the courage to be light as the foam and light as the spray, dancing on tiptoes all the way through this dream? I must be dreaming, drifting, slowly drifting, drifting, slowly drifting, drifting through a dream I see
Vulcan's anvil. Only 1 mile to Lava Falls, the most treacherous rapid in the Grand Canyon. It comes on the second to the last day of the trip. This is the climax. The boatmen could have run this rapid 100 times, but they are still uneasy. Passenger and crew alike survey the falls, and at the first glance know that its reputation is well deserved. The rapid is totally unforgiving. The entry at the head of the rapid is obscure. It is an incipient tongue through a 10-foot deep hole that stretches across the head of the rapid from bank to bank. As soon as the first obstacle is cleared, a 15-foot hole on the left must be avoided, and then a huge wave at the right poses the last danger. The boatmen analyze the rapid as usual and pick their courses. The entry is critical, and 2 or 3 strokes on the oars is all the guidance that time allows. Watch as the first boatman makes a perfect run. A broken oar. They're in for a wild ride. Overboard. Not many swim through Lava Falls. They're heading for a hole. Watch the raft disappear. Now there's one happy boatman. Looking back at the bottom of Lava Falls, we can hardly remember our apprehension. We are elated by our accomplishment. John Wesley Powell, commenting on the Lava Falls area, wrote, "Great quantities of lava are seen on either side, and then we come to an abrupt cataract. Just over the fall, a cinder cone, or extinct volcano, stands on the very brink of the canyon. What a conflict of water and fire there must have been here. Just imagine a river of molten rock running down into a river of melted snow. What a seething and boiling of the waters. What clouds of steam rolled into the heavens." After Lava Falls, the remaining rapids seem tame by comparison. The river is now our accustomed vehicle through this timeless land.
Then back into the rafts, we had 20 miles more till we came to Lava Falls and could hear its mighty roar. The last obstacle that would be ours to surpass, then the run to Diamond Creek, the trip was over so fast.
Diamond Creek. We are at the end of our 13-day adventure. Our thoughts drift back to the things we have seen and experienced.
Hey-dum-diddle-o, diddle-I-day, I rode with oars on a summer's day. Hey-dum-diddle-o, diddle-I-day, I rode with oars on a summer's day.
Soon the rafts will be on the river again. Others will share the beauty of the Grand Canyon and the excitement of its thundering rapids.